Ceremony, I wanted to share the word of God. Vấn đề bí của chúng ta chỉ dụ lưu khá bé là cái ô chi ông cái yang văn chỉ tập ta lên thầu văn chỉ cái ô chi ông cái văn chỉ mua nó bỏ pha lên yang này rồi. We're going to learn about marriage through the word of God in Genesis chapter 2. This I call the 4 D's of marriage. Chapter 2 verse 24 and 25. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked and were not. There's 4 principles here in this passage that work together in marriage, okay? Like a 4-wheeled car. And when one is broken, just like your marriage, when one of these tires is flat or not functioning, your marriage will be rough. And so let's go through the first one. It is detachment. In Genesis it says, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother. When you were still single, a child, you would depend fully on survival, on life from your parents and honor them and live with them. The principle here is to detach from that. So as a newly wedded couple, you will no longer depend, but you will detach from your issues. You can't go running back to mom and dad. You can't go running back to your best friend. You gotta sit right there and face it with each other because you've detached from your parents. You can't rely on your parents on money as well, or raising your children. That is a task for you. Everything that you're going to begin in a new life, you must detach from the old, which is reliance, total reliance on your parents. And so the first step, the first tire of the wheel is detachment. Once you have detached, okay? Defend. To hold fast to his wife. In the English, it says to cling onto his wife, meaning to detach and then to go defend. When you cling onto something, you are protecting it with all of your might. And that is how you should defend your marriage. There are 2 things I want to look at in defending, internal and external. Internally, in your marriage, you will have temptations to be selfish. You gotta defend your marriage through internal heart issues, internal selfishness. And then external, defend from the outsiders, from old friends ruining your marriages, from friends giving you advice, from parents making you guys go left or right, dividing you guys. You must defend yourselves from internal temptations and external attacks on your marriage. This is how your marriage will last. So you've detached, you've defended, and now dependency is the 3rd D. And they shall become one flesh. What does it mean to become one flesh? It means that you are now one body, like 2 legs working with each other to run or walk. It means to wait for each other, to wait at your wife's pace, to wait at your husband's pace, to not drag each other, not force each other, but to depend and say, okay, if it's not a good time for you, I will wait for you. These are examples of how you depend on each other rather than depending on yourself alone, saying, I will go without you. Okay? Thọ yêu ơi lúc chế chỉ cho cho cái phụ là phải yêu chế, hàng cả cái tên cho họ cái cũng không ổn định. But you must depend on each other. And lastly, devotion. You've detached, you've defended, and you depended on each other, and now you must have a devotion. And it says here in verse 25, and the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed. To nay ha to kopu auto olen olen la kan tashi auto ilen chi bauta moja ilen. Devotion means this: total honesty. Rich retirement to eshilu, and then you will depend on each other alone, not on your friends, not on anyone else but each other. And lastly, to exchange for each other.
Mountain Dew. Okay, go get it. Nó do lúa khe nữa, lúa dọn aji nữa. Không có clear.
Hello. That's why put that down. Stop here, mom. So you got you either more just out put over. Mom. Nó tao cái kitchen đó. Lên một khắc rồi có.
Nó chính cái tàu nó lấy nó nhẹ.
Cái này tôi được họ rồi. Thế à?
Cái lỗ sẽ sang ngày 30 minutes. I'll be
Cho
like in 30 minutes.
cho buổi sáng ra cho mua ấp của lên nó. Yeah. Yeah.
这男水都不错。Okay, everybody. Nice to see all of you today.